Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to our weekly Clean Start 90 presentation. And if you're a guest here joining us for the very first time, we want to welcome you. In the next 30 minutes, you're going to learn about what the excitement is. What is Clean Start 90? What's the big buzz? And we're really excited to share with you about how to join a movement, transform your future, how to reclaim vitality, restore balance, and renew your health. And so in the next few minutes, we're going to cover five categories. We're going to talk about understanding the serious health risk linked to ongoing toxins and heavy metal accumulation. That's kind of the big topic tonight. You might be aware, you might not be aware, but we're going to delve into this and we're going to expose some things. And for me, it was very eye-opening when I started looking under the hood of what's really driving sickness and disease like never before. And so that's first and foremost. And of course, when we kind of uncover this big problem, then what's the solution? Or is there a solution? And there's a lot of different ways to try to address this, but you're going to learn about a science-based, clinically proven, results-driven solution that we're super excited about, seeing amazing results. Then we'll talk about the heart of the company, a little bit about who the company is and how they got started. And then we're going to share about the program, Clean Start 90, this 90-day journey to cleanse, to reset and renew your health. And lastly, how do you get started? So that's kind of the topics. Now, in the next 30 minutes or so, we cannot answer all your questions. I'd like to answer most of those tonight. But my encouragement is to make notes, write notes, get back with the person who invited you at the end, and get those questions answered. But we will do our best to kind of give you all the information you need to make a decision of wanting to move forward with Clean Start 90. The first question I always like to start off with is, how much do you know, or prior to today, of how heavy metals and toxins in our environment, food, air, water, how it affects your personal health? When 4.5 years ago, when I was introduced to the product you're going to hear about tonight, I had very limited knowledge. Now, I think all of us maybe are in tune to the fact we live in a toxic world. We might have read a headline, but I don't know if we really truly understand how it's really impacting our health. So, three questions I want to ask. Number one, as we set off on the new year, and a lot of us making those New Year's resolutions, maybe we're going to exercise more, eat better, take more supplements, whatever, because we want to live a higher quality of life. And frankly, it doesn't matter if it's a new year, mid-year, end of the year, whenever we decide to do a lifestyle change because we want to have that better quality life. Do you incorporate the idea into that thinking that I need to deal with environmental toxins that I have in my body? So in other words, do I even recognize the fact that these toxins that have been bioaccumulating in my body over the past several years, or 30 years, 40 years, however long we've been around, are they, is that important? And how does that fit into my overall scheme of life and how I'm going to live a better quality of life? It really is something you definitely want to pay attention to, and we're going to talk about that tonight. Second question is how many people do you know in your personal sphere of influence that have done all the right things, at least what we're told to do, exercise, eat clean, good supplements, live a good quality life, and yet still got a bad report from the doctor? I can tell you, I can count probably on a couple hands and 2 feet people in my life that I thought were the epitome of health, and yet they somehow still got a bad report. Why is that? And we're going to address that a little bit. We're going to go a little deeper into that. And then lastly, when we think about getting older, I think all of us, I'm now 56, we all have this tendency to say as we get older that we maybe, have less stamina or energy or vibrancy or brain, whatever in our lives. There's things that we would associate with, hey, I'm just getting old. But have you ever considered the fact that maybe that's not necessarily the case? Maybe these toxins that I've been taking in over the years in the air, food, and water at these unprecedented levels, maybe it's actually my body telling me, hey, you have a problem, and I'm not really listening. And so I think sometimes we want to put some of those things in that bucket of I'm just getting older, and that's not necessarily the case. The place that I'd have everybody start, and if this is a video that you're watching, you can hit pause right now. And if you're watching live, you can go to, if you can do this while we're doing this presentation, or certainly right after the presentation, if you haven't already done this, we have what we call a toxic impact score quiz that you can take. It's at a website, cs90score.com, and it's 10 categories, kind of what it looks like here on this document. It's 10 main categories, and then there's subcategories that you'll check box things that you personally are struggling with. And then for every main category in those check boxes, you have a slider bar at the bottom of your, whether it's a tablet or a phone or a computer, that you can move from 1 to 10, 10 being the best. I feel the best. I don't have any issues. 1 being the worst. And you can move that to where you do a self-assessment. And when you go through all 10 categories, it's going to give you what we call this toxic impact score. And what's amazing is that after having multiple people in my sphere of influence do or take this toxic impact score quiz, how many people find themselves in that 45, 55, 65, low 70 range? And this is the body telling you that you have, the body's speaking to you and saying, hey, there are some health concerns, and it doesn't have to be that I've got some catastrophic sickness, but I've got areas in my life that I'm not 100%. All of these questions were formulated to kind of these. If you do research, these are common symptoms that if you check a low score in, that it's possible, highly possible, that it's due to heavy metals and toxins that are in your body that are disrupting your health. And I think all of us would like to live, 100 out of 100. 100 is a perfect score. I've yet to see someone get 100 out of 100. Again, most people are getting 50s, 60s, low 70s. The bottom line is I don't think any of us when we know that, we would want to live at a 63 out of 100 or a 52 out of 100 or even a 78 out of 100. All of us would like to live at 100 out of 100. So this toxic impact score quiz at cs90score.com is just a great place to give you a quick snapshot. It takes 3 or 4 minutes. I highly recommend you do it. And then let the person who invited you to this presentation, know what your score is. Now, what's interesting is again, these are just indicators, common things that we all might struggle with, that if you leave those things unchecked, like if you don't deal with it, and recognize that, hey, these toxins are affecting me, there is a video called Your Journey to Better Health that I want to play. It's 4 minutes long, and this video goes into the big problem of how these heavy metals and toxins affect us long term. If we don't get them out of our body, if we don't keep them out of our body, this is where it can lead to. And so you can refer to fixtoxins.com if you ever want to rewatch this video. But I want to take a minute, I want to play it for you, and then we'll go a little bit deeper on this topic and then talk about the solution. So turn up your speakers. It's only 4 minutes long, and listen, because there's a lot of good information that's presented in this short few minutes.
There is a growing awareness in the U.S. about the damage that environmental toxins are having in our daily lives. Have you stopped to consider what these toxins are actually doing to your cells? The truth is, the air we breathe, the water we drink, even the food we eat contribute to our daily amount of toxic accumulation. These include heavy metals like arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury, as well as forever chemicals known as PFAs, volatile organic compounds, and toxic microplastics. Over time, These toxins accumulate in our bodies and cause cellular dysfunction, overwhelming our body's natural ability to heal itself from illnesses. Is it any wonder that over 129 million Americans suffer from at least one chronic disease? Our most dedicated efforts to stay healthy can be sabotaged by the essential necessities of breathing, drinking water, and consuming the very foods and nutrients we need to survive. Without our knowledge, various toxins are silently making their way into our cells and endocrine system, posing severe and devastating health risks. In a published peer-reviewed study, over 200 industrial chemicals and metals were detected in the umbilical cord blood of pregnant women and their babies. So even before birth, we are accumulating daily toxins, even from our mother. Our liver and kidneys eliminate some of this burden, but for most people, the majority of toxins become stored in the non-metabolic areas of the body like fat and bone. Regardless of how much effort we commit to keeping ourselves clean and healthy, our bodies are consistently accumulating these harmful toxins. Increasing levels of heavy metals and forever chemicals are all around us and are frequently mentioned in the news. They're in baby food, chocolate, coffee, fast food, vitamins. They're even in organic vegetables. Even with our heightened health consciousness and remarkable medical advancements, the past 3 decades have produced an unprecedented surge in heart disease, respiratory illness, various cancers, diabetes, strokes, obesity, and depression. All of these illnesses have been linked to heavy metals and toxins that we are exposed to each and every day. Rapid weight loss, even with good intentions, has been shown to release years' worth of stored toxins from our fat back into our bloodstream, tissues, and organs, causing an acute exposure. How long until this toxic burden triggers a severe health crisis? Diabetes, cancer, heart disease, stroke, infection. Which will be first? And when it does happen, what are your options for treatment? Modern medicine focuses on treating symptoms with more medicines. Almost nothing is done to remove the offending toxins causing disease within the body. This realization is driving tens of millions of people to look for alternative options. Thankfully, there is a solution. New innovations using natural products that are proven to gently remove these toxins. Allow your body to heal itself as nature intended. Awareness and education are the key. If you're concerned about your health and the health of your loved ones, it's imperative that you get back with the person who introduced you to this video. Ask them about the new breakthrough solutions with natural products with proven clinical results that have helped thousands restore their health and begin your journey to a healthier you.
So they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. And here we have this frog in a pot of water. The heat is slowly being turned up. And as we know, the proverbial story, the frog eventually gets cooked to death and it doesn't realize what has happened to him. That is the same challenge we have with this silent epidemic. The video does a great job of laying out these silent epidemic of heavy metal toxin and other toxins that are bioaccumulating in our bodies over time in the air, food, and water. It's inescapable. One stat that they didn't talk about in there was the NIH, National Institute of Health, says there's over 70,000 chemicals today in our environment in every area of our life that weren't here 50 years ago. Think about that, 70,000. We've let Pandora out of its box. And it's robbing people of their health and their future. And frankly, until the toxins are removed, even the best nutrition can't restore balance. You see, you'll never be able to out nutrition the heavy metals and toxins. So we can do a lot of great things for our health, and we're all for those great things. We're all for the exercise, the eat right, the choose better quality foods, supplementation, because we know the soils don't have the nutrients it used to have. Those are all great things. But the undercurrent to sickness and disease of epidemic levels, that silent epidemic that some people know about, the majority I think kind of know about, but they haven't connected the dots. The reality is that whether we think we are or think we're not, we are in this toxic world, taking these in at a level that our bodies were never intended to take in. And because of that, it's disrupting the body's natural ability to heal itself, to do what it's designed to do, to live at optimum quality of vibrant levels. And you can do your own research. Google any sickness and disease you don't want to have. You can type in heavy metal toxicity, or type in the disease name and heavy metal toxicity, and do your own research and see the connection. It's either a direct or indirect connection. And so although we live in this wonderful modern world of medicine and technology, these toxins are pollutants in the body that, if left unchecked, it's going to lead to things that we don't want. And that's why we start you off with, hey, get your toxic impact score and see where you fall. See what your score is, because your body's talking to you. And yet I think a lot of us aren't really in tune to that. And then do something about it. And that's where we have the solution of all solutions. Now, I want to point out that, the marketplace is full of different ways to address this, or try to address this, especially when it comes to detoxification. But there's two classes of detoxification. One would be what we call a cellular detox, which is what most programs out there are they would force the cells to release the toxins and then push it back to the liver. Then the liver, which by the way had a problem dealing with it the first time, is going to try to bind it, and with if you have enough bile, enough fiber in your diet, get it through the intestinal tract, through the colon and out the back end. But the reality is it struggles, especially with heavy metals, because heavy metals have an electrolyte property that the body happens to love more so than even calcium, magnesium, potassium. So that's the normal and so those cellular detoxes are good, but they're not really that efficient or as effective as a vascular detox. And that's what we have with our revolutionary solution we call Cell Defender. Now, Cell Defender is real simple. It's a mineral, a natural mineral found in nature that has a negative charge in a cage-like structure that just so happens to work like a sponge to absorb these heavy metals and toxins into this structure. But what makes it unique, because of a proprietary process that our biochemist figured out years ago of creating what we call Detoxolite, he's able to clean this mineral and then make it small enough to get into the bloodstream and lymphatic system. So it's a vascular detox, and then sneak it out through the kidneys and out the urine channel, which is a different pathway. It's a much more effective, much more safe and gentle way to do a detox. And clinical studies have shown that we've done on our own product, multiples, shows up to a 15 times excretion of these heavy metals and toxins through the urine channel. And we're seeing amazing stories, results, thousands, tens of thousands of stories, because millions of bottles have been sold over the years. So this product is the only product on the market that has the clinical support, has the testimonial support at the levels that we have to support that's effective and it's safe. And it's amazing. And so the company behind it, the heart behind the mission, is really, I guess, the glue that holds all this together. And the biochemist who figured out how to create this product years ago and take this mineral and make it so effective, Rick Deitch, who's a master formulator, who's who's developed hundreds of products that have done billions of dollars in sales for other companies, he 3.5 years ago, along with his good friend Neil Roth, our CEO, said, you know what, we have to put a company together that can assure that these products, these life-changing products, and especially Cell Defender, can continue to get out to the marketplace, be delivered on time all the time, and that they were in it for the right reasons. And so in 2022, Avini Health was birthed out of that necessity, founded by gentlemen who have, Neil has run billion-dollar companies, knows how to build companies and run them, and Rick, the master formulator, and our executive vice president of sales, who's got 35 years in the industry. These gentlemen who are leading the charge have uniquely positioned this company to address global health crises like this toxic world that we live in, with amazing solutions. And they're scientific breakthrough products. These are unique. You can only get them through our company, and we have worldwide distribution rights. When I started with this company 3.5 years ago to help put this together and get it out to the marketplace, we were in a little 6,000 square foot facility. Today, we're in a 35,000 square foot CGMP FDA certified facility. And that brings me to this. We don't need a 35,000 square foot facility just to produce Cell Defender. We actually are not just a one product company. Cell Defender is the tip of the spear, and it's where everybody needs to start. But once we get people started on this product and they see these life-changing results, look, we have products that can continue to support your body to maximize its health and function, immune support, joint support, pain relief support, energy metabolic support, brain function, vision, cardiovascular and health, digestive health, hormonal balance products, hydration and electrolyte, weight management, and even products for your pets. So we have products that are unique, that all the ingredients are clinically supported to do what they're designed to do. But Cell Defender, as we call it, the tip of the spear, is no matter what you do for your health, have been doing, what you will do in the future, everybody's toxic in this world, and everybody needs a clean start. And so we always want to kind of focus in on getting started, because no matter what you decide to do in the future, this will make everything that you do be optimally optimized in your body and help create success for your body to do what it's designed to do. So the system that we created is this 90-day health reset. We call it Clean Start 90 Health Reset. It's a simple 90-day wellness journey that is structured, but very, very simple to implement into your daily life. It's not complicated. We're going to go through what that looks like here in a second, but it acts as that launching point to long-term, vibrant living. And I've seen this countless times in my own personal life, those around me, people. I've just seen it over and over again so many times that it's like I was once blind, now I see. There's nobody that can convince me different that this is the place that everybody needs to start. If you can only do one thing for your health, this is where everybody should start to cause their bodies to be put into position to where we can live that vibrant life that we were designed to live. So the program is real simple. Cell Defender is real. It's a liquid. It's in that little bottle, and you literally take 10 drops 10 times a day for 90 days. That's the program. 10 drops 10 times a day for 90 days. And you can, obviously, we'd love to see people change their lifestyle, how they eat, certainly good supplementation, exercise. But even if you don't decide to do that change in your life yet, and you just incorporate this, we have seen people go from a 45, a 60 on that CS90 score, that toxic impact score, go up to an 80, 90, close to 100 in this 90-day period. We see it all the time. And you'll hear my story, what I did 4.5 years ago. It changed my life. So again, real simple, 10 drops, 10 times a day, 90 days. and you will go through about 5 bottles a month for this 90-day period. So the best way to get started is to purchase what we call an activation pack. That makes you a wholesale buyer in our company. $2.99 gives you 7 bottles, plenty of product to get started. And then month 2 and month 3, you would just enroll in what we call an auto subscribe, which you have complete control over. But for the next 2 months, you're going to get 5 bottles month 2 and month 3 so that you have enough product to do this 90-day clean start reset. And then if you haven't done your toxic impact score before you get started, we want to benchmark you and see where you're at. Hopefully you've already done that. And then at the end of the 90 days, we're going to have you do that test again, that quiz, and see how far you've moved that needle. And you will be amazed. And more importantly, you're going to feel it. You're going to know it. The brain fog, the stamina, the things that you thought, oh my goodness, this is my lot in life. It will revolutionize your life. And it really, really is that simple. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life, in my 56 years of living and 35 years in the industry. I've never seen something so effective. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we just don't realize how much these toxins are impacting our health. And this really is a movement, and we really want to help you transform your future. But our goal is to have 1 million people go through this Clean Start 90 Health Reset program. And that's just the starting point. Then we can go after the rest of the world. And so this Clean Start 90 program is going to change a lot of lives, but we need your help. As hopefully you understand in this few minutes that we've shared together, the problem and the solution, I'm sure you have some questions, but once you really understand what we have and how effective it is, and it's science-based, it's clinically studied, and you see the results, we would love to have you join the movement and help us get it out there, help us share it with other people. You see, our company has a cooperative compensation plan that rewards our wholesale buyers / distributors the opportunity to pay for their program and turn it into even a business where, whether it's part-time income, full-time income, lifestyle income, whatever your goals are. But here's the interesting thing. I never set off to do this as a business 4.5 years ago. I just knew I needed the product. And like I said, kind of ahead of myself in my story. But bottom line is that I saw it work. And I had to help other people. The marketplace is ripe for learning about detoxification. I mean, there's a plethora of choices out there, but most of those are the cellular detox. We have the exclusive and the one and only clinically supported Detoxolite product that does the vascular detox, and again is unique in how it's effective and safe by taking it out through the urine channel. So, but the bottom line is that people are already receptive. They kind of understand detoxification. We just got to connect them to the best solution that's the most effective. And I'll say this as we wrap up, and I'll tell you my story, but opportunity becomes purpose when it empowers others to reclaim their health. As I said, I didn't start off trying to make this an opportunity. I simply got passionate about a product. I got passionate about what I saw it do for me and what I started seeing it happen to other people. I had a responsibility. So my quick story is this, if you haven't heard it. 4.5 years ago, before Avini Health ever existed, the product was being sold under a different name through a different company. And I got a phone call by a gentleman saying, as I'm driving to South Florida for my daughter's graduation, hey, got this great opportunity. Anybody get those opportunity phone calls? I've been in the industry 35 years, so I get them a lot. And I always listen. I'm always polite. I mean, just, you never know. But I really wasn't truly looking for an opportunity at that time in my life. But I did say, well, that I maybe or may not be interested in, but what is the product? And he starts telling me about this product that takes out heavy metals. It does this in your body. And and it's amazing. And he sent me a 5-minute video by the biochemist, explains the product, one of the clinical studies. The following week, I hear a person, an individual that's now one of my best friends, share a story of how literally at 50 years old, 51 years old, he was not going to see 52 or 53. He was that bad off, and gets on this product, and the story is amazing. His body was able to heal itself. And after hearing that story, I said, I'm in. I need this product. I knew at 52 I was toxic. I had some minor things going on, but here's what you don't know. 3 months earlier, I had a new doctor, and I was doing my full physical. And of course, when you get a new doctor, they ask all the questions because they've got to go through the routine things. And he says, hey, tell me what's going on in your life. And about 3 years earlier, I had a symptom start in my body. As you get older, you're kind of like, yeah, that's not normal. That's not normal. Well, that symptom progressed, and it got a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse. Every 3-4 months, it was moving up my body. And when I tell him this and I share the details, he says, well, I don't have good news for you. He says, based upon what you're telling me, you have a pretty serious health condition, or it certainly seems to be heading in that direction. Wasn't a great news. And the interesting thing, I didn't connect it to toxicity in my body. I didn't connect it that maybe that's what is the causal effect, right? Because when I heard about the product and what it would do, I just knew I was toxic. Well, here's the thing. That company was, when you enrolled, you would buy 15 bottles at one time. And I asked, well, how do I take this product? Well, everybody was doing this 10 drop 10 times a day for 90 days. And so I'm like, well, 5 bottles a month I've got 15 bottles. I've got enough to do that. So I'll do what everybody else is doing. And unbeknownst to me, just simply doing that faithfully for that first month, second month, third month, every health symptom that I had for several years that was getting worse completely went away. I had some other brain fog, other stamina things. I play a lot of pickleball. My joint, I could play like I was 20 years old again, as far as how I just didn't get as sore. I mean, it was amazing, and it changed my life. And so I started sharing that product with other people naturally, because I'm like, oh my goodness, we've got the fountain of youth. Well, not really the fountain of youth. Your body, we're not going to outlive death. But the reality is that I found something that was giving me back vibrancy and taking care of things I didn't think were possible. And all as it was, because as we'll say, our products don't cure or heal anybody. Your body is the miracle. So that's what happened for me. And so again, the opportunity kind of got birthed out of it. I just got passionate about sharing it. And today, my wife and I, we didn't know that a year later, the Avini was going to launch and we'd be a part of that. And today we have, thousands of distributors and customers throughout the US and Canada and the UK. We get to do this full time. We get to help people all day long live a quality life that they never thought was possible. I mean, what an awesome opportunity. I mean, it's the best thing I could do every day, to be able to do something that you love, help people. And so anyways, here's how you get started. There's 3, we call it the good, better, best choice. Good is, I recognize in my own life that I need to do this 90-day Clean Start 90 health reset for myself. That's a great place to get started. But a better and best way is, once you get started, help us get the message out. Help us share this with people that love, and like, that could help them take that little toxic impact score quiz and see what their score is, and invite them to learn about this, because I'm telling you, it is really a responsibility, as what this will do for people, but it's the best thing in the world. And if we're going to reach 1 million people, we can't do it alone. We need a team of people. And so the cool part is whether you help us get 3 or 10 or 12 or 20 or 100, the bottom line is that we have a company that will reward you and help pay for your program at the very least, just by helping a few others get started. And if you want to grow that beyond that, we can show you how to do that. But the most important thing is you get started. So I want to just thank you for taking time out of your schedule. If you're a guest, please get back with the person who invited you to this presentation and learn more about Clean Start. Get all your questions answered and join the movement and transform your future. Start with you, and then let's transform the future of tens of thousands of others, helping them reclaim their vitality, restore balance, and renew their health. And so thank you so much. That concludes our presentation tonight. Again, if you have questions, please get back with that person who invited you. But we are here to help answer any questions you might have, so feel free to reach out to us directly. But have a great week. And we would love to have you join this movement, this Clean Start 90 movement, and transform your future.